Our top story tonight, General Motors all over the news today. First, GM announced poor sales for the Volt and then announced it has a fix for the fire issue. Robert Bryce is a senior fellow with the Center for Energy Policy and the Environment at the Manhattan Institute in Austin. He's not in Austin today, though. He's in Texas. Robert, welcome back to the show. Good to see you. What do you think of this Volt?
Hi, happy to be with you, Jerry.
Do we need to get rid of this Volt, this Chevy Volt?
Well, look, this recent recall is no surprise, Jerry. The problem is with the electric car market is we've been hearing that they're on the verge of commercial viability now for 100 years. I can point you to stories in the New York Times, Washington Post from 100 years ago saying that these cars are just on the cusp of viability. The reality is the history of the electric car is a century of failure, tailgating, failure, and now we just have more.
Robert, you said it's a recall. They say it's a step below a recall. What do you make of that?
Well, look, call it what you want. Recall, not recall. They're having to fix a problem on a car that clearly was not ready for the market, and now they're getting hurt again in the PR department. But it's amazing, Jerry, if you even think about the fact that we're even talking about this. When you look at the market share of the Volt and the Leaf, last year they sold about 17,000 cars combined. The Leaf sold 9,700 cars.
They're nothing in the marketplace.
Right.
Consumers are voting with their feet and with their dollars here. They're not buying the Volt,
exactly,
even though they're getting free money from the federal government to do it. What's wrong with this car? Why isn't it selling?
Well, it's not a good value proposition. There was a good quote from an auto analyst in Bloomberg today that said that consumers have to think long and hard about the value proposition. Look, there is no value proposition. You can buy a Prius for 35% less than you can pay for a Volt. You can buy two Chevy Cruzes. It's a vehicle built on effectively the same platform as the Chevy Volt. You can buy two of them for the price of one Chevy Volt. Why would consumers buy it? It's not a compelling product.
And I don't want to have to plug the thing in every 20 minutes. Your only cost is not the cost of gas, let's face it. This thing is plugged in for 11 hours at a time. This isn't efficiency. This is insanity. How can this be the centerpiece of President Obama's green energy program? I just don't get it.
Well, I don't get it either, Jerry. And if you look at a report that came out from Deloitte Consulting last year, they looked at who are the likely EV buyers. They concluded, I'm quoting here, that the buyers are people with household incomes in excess of $200,000. Wow. Who are buying the EVs? They're the Beamer and Benz set. This isn't middle America. It makes no sense.
And those are the people we are subsidizing to buy them. Why are we giving them money? Why do you want to give money to people who make $200,000 to buy a car? They should be paying the full price.
You're not going to get an argument from me, Jerry, but I think what the important point for taxpayers to remember right now is that this is just the beginning of the electric vehicle bust. If you remember, the Obama administration has provided about $5 billion in grants and loan guarantees to EV and EV-related companies, including A123 Systems and Interdel. A123 Systems got a $249 million DOE grant. They've lost $172 million over the last 3 quarters alone. Interdel, a year ago, they got a grant from the federal government for $118 million. When Joe Biden visited their plant, the stock was selling on the NASDAQ for about $4. The stock for Interdel now has been delisted, and Jerry, you can snap up as many shares as you want for 6 cents.
Well, we just keep picking losers over and over and over again, putting money into things that can't make money. Here's my problem with it. We bailed out GM. They still owe us money. We own them. They don't own us. Why? How is this right? I mean, as a taxpayer, I'm just outraged that our money is still going to this company, still locked up in this company. We can't get it out because the shares aren't worth that much. What kind of economic policy is this? How would you grade the Obama administration's policy in this case to bail out GM and then subsidize their loser products?
Well, look, the reality is, Jerry, it's a long question you asked.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I apologize. I don't have any opinions on this,
Yeah, I know, I gathered. But the reality is the electric car market in America hasn't been fueled by consumer demand. It's been fueled by wishful thinking, largely coming from the Obama administration. It's been fueled by politics and subsidies from the federal government, not from consumer pull. And therefore, it's destined to fail, and it will, and it is, and we're going to see bigger failures to come.
Robert Bryce from Austin, Texas. Just one number before I let you go here. The Chevy Volt cost to taxpayers per volt $250,000. That's your return on investment, Mr. Taxpayer. Thank you for being with us. Always a pleasure to have you here, Robert Bryce.
Thanks, Jerry.
Have a great day. Okay.